Hello, hello. How's everybody been? Welcome back to Cooking with Donna. Um, I've been kind of busy watching my grandbabies. That's why I ain't been on. So hopefully everybody out there is doing okay and cooking up some good food. But today I'm gonna do, by request, some cheesy scallop potatoes. So we're gonna jump right in. And first off, I have some butter melting here. If you're wondering what that stuff is in the pan. And to this, it's like I got about a quarter of a cup, some butter there. I'm going to sprinkle in some regular all-purpose flour there. I'm going to cook this up and get that raw taste out of there just for a few minutes. Get this raw flavor out of that. Cook it up for just a few minutes. And I'll do that and we'll be right back. Alright, I actually cooked it for about maybe a minute. But to this I'm going to add in a half of a medium onion. Chopped up real good, or you can cut it kind of thin in some slices if you like them like that. And you could just leave the onion out altogether if you got any ones that don't like onion, because we're going to be using some chopped garlic as well. I got 2 medium cloves here, 2 medium cloves of chopped garlic. Okay, and we're just going to stir this up until we start smelling that garlic. You don't want to cook this too long because we don't want to burn that garlic. So I'm going to sit here and just let this cook and till I start smelling that garlic, and then we'll add our milk. Alright, I cooked this probably 2 minutes or so, and if you don't want the onions, you know, go with 3 medium cloves of garlic and just leave the onion out. But I like to do the 2 cloves of garlic and 1/2 of a medium onion. Really gives good flavor here. Okay, now I'm going to be adding in 2 cups of whole fat milk. 2 cups. And I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to start out with maybe a 1/2 cup. I don't like to do all milk because it tends to make it a little sweet, and I don't care for that. So I kind of tone it down a little bit with some water. And you can do some half and half here if you'd like. If you don't care about the calories. And you can go with all full cream, you know, if you want to do that as well. And we're going to put some fresh pepper in here. Salt is your choice. Start out with maybe a 1/4 teaspoon because we are adding some canned cheese soup in here, and that's pretty salty, so just watch how much just watch your salt. Now I'm gonna let this simmer for, I don't want this to boil, not with that milk in there. So we're just going to let this simmer until it kind of softens our onions up there a little bit and brings out some flavor. Then we'll be adding our cheeses to that. But meanwhile, like I said, I'm going to let that simmer probably a good 10 minutes or so. Just, you know, because it's going to cook in the oven as well. So good 10 minutes or so, I'll let that simmer. Alright, y'all. I've been cooking that, like I said, maybe 10 minutes, just a good simmer, because you don't want it to boil because of the milk. Alright, so there we are with that. Now, I'm going to turn this off. Well, actually, I'll leave it on until I get my cheese in there. You're going to be using the Campbell's 10 ounce, the 10 ounce can of cheese. Use that whole can in there. And this is gonna let us know here how thick this is gonna be. Because when I make it, I don't measure, so bear with me, guys. We did the 2 cups of milk and a 1/2 cup of water, but I just go by the eye here. I'll know more or less after I get this stirred in. Yeah. So we're gonna do maybe another 1/2 cup of milk. Alright, I'm going to go in with a little bit more milk. About another 1/2 cup of milk we're going to add to that. Alright, let that warm through, and then we're going to add some medium cheddar. I'm going to do maybe 1.5 cups or so. And if it still looks thick, just add a little bit more water, because it's going to cook in the oven for about 40-45 minutes. It just depends on how thick you're going to do your potatoes. So, and this stays pretty creamy as it sits. So let's get that stirred up. Okay, got that turned off. I turned that off. I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of freshly grated mild cheddar. Stir that in there. And my heat is turned off. Now you can go with 2 cups of cheese if you'd like, so I'm going to take this over there and pour it over our potatoes here. Alright, now I have about 5 medium potatoes sliced. You know, it just depends on how thick you want them. You know, go as thick or thin as you'd like. This is what I'm doing. And I have 5 medium potatoes here in here, and I like to cook it in my cast iron, or you can use your 9x13, and I did slightly grease that. My oven is preheated to 350, and we're going to cook these just until they're tender. It's usually about 40-45 minutes. If you go any thicker, they're going to take at least an hour. So let's get this cheese. And I did, yummy, yummy, yummy. Don't that look good? I did end up adding a little bit more cheese. So I did about 1 2/3 cups of cheese. Something like that. Getting all that cheese out of there. Let's see. We're not going to cover it. Now, like I said, if it looks too thick for you, just kind of thin it out with a little bit more water, a little bit more milk. I did end up adding just a little bit more milk, maybe another 1/4 cup or so, but until you get used to it, you know, knowing more or less what you're going to be adding in there. But you can see the consistency here I have. Now you're just going to move this around, let that cheese kind of work its way to the bottom there. Now, right before this is done, or you could do it now if you wanted, you could put some crumbled bacon in here. You could layer it with slices of ham, have you a 1-pot meal here, or 1-pan meal. Some slices of ham in here with that, but we're going to have it with some batter fried pork chops and some green beans. So, but I'm going to get this in the oven. And I'm going to cook it, like I said, probably 40-45 minutes. My oven is ready. And you could sprinkle this with a little bit of paprika or smoked paprika when you bring it out. So let's get this in the oven. I just wanted to bring this up right before you get this in the oven. This is the time to taste, to make sure you don't need no more salt here. So go ahead and taste that cheese sauce, guys. I forgot to mention, I did put 2 tablespoons of butter. I dolloped it all over the top of it right before I put it in the oven. So I did put 2 tablespoons of butter, little pieces all over it. Well, there they are, guys. I baked them about 45 minutes or so. If you listen, you can still hear them sizzling. But anyways, we're going to get ready and have these, like I said, with some pork chops. And I wanted to share this with you guys. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, we will see you guys later and have a wonderful day.